Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to As Above, So Below, a rune and tarot divination for Monday, the 16th day of May, 2022. Well, I hope everyone had a good weekend. We got out to see the moon last night. That was very cool. It was still light here, so couldn't quite see its start. It looked kind of like there was a cloud over at the horizon. Well, the horizon meaning above the trees, and by the time it got above the trees, it was pretty well covered, and it took a bit for us to even see it. But as it started getting darker, then it was obvious what we were looking at. But that was very cool. I have to say, it's not often you get to see things like that, especially around here, because oftentimes we have cloud cover. But the skies were completely clear for the most part above us, and so finally, when it got above everything, I got some pictures, and so that was neat. That was fun to watch that. Let's see. We also did some gardening this weekend, which was nice to do. And so I hope you all got to get out, and if you had nice weather, we finally had nice weather yesterday. It was really, really nice out. But we had a neighbor flood us with his irrigation water, and so I couldn't get out in the garden. It was nice Saturday too, but I couldn't get out because of I couldn't do what I needed to do because everything was soaking wet, and so I had to wait. It was still wet when I did much of what I did yesterday, but not as wet. But the day before, I would have been walking in standing water, so that wouldn't have been good. Well, one bit of information. Well, first let me tell you, I all of the stuff is up on the blog for this week. The numerology for the week, the ascendant rays, nodes, and other aspects. That's up. That's kind of a fun post. The daily correspondences for work and magic are up for the week, and the more elaborate one is over on Patreon. That one's where it's got recommendations and stuff if you want to follow me over there. Links are below the video here. If you just click on show more, you'll see all of that. Let's see, what else do I write? Oh, esoteric influences are up, and that went out in the newsletter. That also went out on Saturday. You can sign up for that on the left side panel of the blog if you want to do that. Let's see. What's the other one? Did I say them all? Maybe I said them all. Yeah, maybe I did. Anyway, and then the two Medium, the posts over on Medium, they're up as well. So anyhow, that and we already talked about the lunar eclipse. Oh, one thing, tomorrow is it's going to start, I guess, at 7 in the morning Pacific time, 10 o'clock, I think, Eastern. If you go over to another YouTube channel, Earth Files, the Earth Files YouTube channel, and click on Show More, she's got a link to this, to the hearing for the House of, I don't know if it's the Intel Committee, I don't remember now, but they're going to talk about UFOs finally. So anyway, that's tomorrow morning, so we're going to be up for that. And but anyway, if you want a link to it, it's over there on her YouTube channel. So go over there and like I said, click on Show More and just look down there. You'll see it. I've got a reminder set, but I don't subscribe to their YouTube channel, so I can't tell you what the name of it is. I don't know. But anyhow, that might, if you're interested in that, that's happening tomorrow morning. So let's go over today's esoteric influences from the weekly post. For Monday, we have a 7 numerology. 16 reduces to 7, which is observation, balance, seeking truth, meditation, magic, analysis, spirituality. Our key words for today. Sewillow is the rune for today. From that, it means the sun or the will, light, energy, self-confidence, higher awareness, illumination, and healing. It's actually kind of an as above, so below rune. Because it's drawn like this, and so the top part could be the above, and the bottom part could be the below in terms of the energetic movement of it. The Geomancy rune for today from the esoteric influences is poor, or little boy, impulsive, driven, risk taker, unstable, maybe accident prone. I raised 2 boys, so I know about that. The sun's in Taurus, the moon's in Scorpio until Sagittarius at 4:51 a.m. So it's already moved into Sagittarius as of this moment. And the planetary governance for work and magic today is the moon. So although you may feel like setting off on a new adventure today, you need to be sure you're not avoiding any responsibilities that need addressing. With Mercury in retrograde, your desire to escape may be influenced by difficult interactions, that is, not different, difficult interactions with a partner where more balance is needed. But if not, you may simply want a change of scenery to clear your mind and consider other perspectives. Expressing selfless service to others will increase receptivity from partners or coworkers who may be feeling left out of the process. Invest in their expertise to expand support and be there to provide assistance during challenging times. This is not the time for egoic agendas that serve only you at the expense of others today. But again, Mercury's still in retrograde, so, take it a moment at a time sometimes we just breeze right through it and don't even know that you've that it's even going on. Things don't nothing seems to upset. We've been having internet issues. We had or not internet but satellite issues, and so we had the satellite guy out on Friday, and we were able to get an appointment. In fact, just in the last half of the day, I made the appointment, like, I don't know, 11:30, so 11:45 or something, and they actually had an appointment available the same day. So we got that resolved. They just had to adjust it a little bit, but we weren't getting very good signals. So I don't know that was necessarily reflective of Mercury retrograde, but sometimes electronics can be funny. Kind of lost a little bit of internet on was it yesterday, and I reset the router, so then we had it back. So I don't know, but just watch for miscommunications and things like that. Just kind of slow it down a little bit and be sure of everything. The rune for the reading is from the Elder Futhark is Laguz, or flow. It can also be used in meditation if you're empathic and you're trying to dissolve channels you've created with others, with other energies or other situations, little thought channels that we create. When we focus on something, that little energetic channels get created, and so you can use Laguz as a hook to draw your energy back to you. You can visualize that. But basically it's flow from spirit, and how that flows into our interactions with other people. Let's go ahead and take the Geomancy rune. If this is your first time here, welcome. I appreciate you coming by. Let's see what we have here. To find the Geomancy rune, I throw down 3 elemental ones that has 1 dot on one side and 2 on the other, and then I arrange them in fire, air, water, and earth. Looks like that's theirs. Oh, well, this looks like a missio. Is it a missio? Let me look. Or no, it would be acquisitio, not a missio. It's complement. Yep. I went and I did runes because it's easier than trying to hold 4 runes in my hand to show you what it is. It's hard to see it. So anyway, this is what it looks like. This is acquisitio. So we're gaining something today as we flow in spirit with others. But let's go ahead. That'll just be the overall idea. We'll see if it stays that way though with the cards when we do those. Now I've already been shuffling here for a bit, and I'll do just a little bit more though. That's probably enough. I usually take about, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes to just shuffle before I get started here, before I turn on the video software I use. I finally found one that I like. I've been using it for quite a while now, and it works well. So I've cut the deck. Let's see what we have for the first 3 cards. Well, let's see. Put the cards back over here and get them out of my way. We start with the 10 of Wands, the Fool, and the Queen of Cups. So let's see, first if I want to move these cards around. Well, let's make along with the runes as significator, let's make the Fool the significator, and Well, right away, I think the Queen of Cups is going to align really well with with Laguz, and then I think Acquisitio is going to align well with the Ten of Wands. But let's start with a Fool. Here we have the Fool and his dog, standing on a cliff right there, a little precipice, taking the leap of faith into form, or into new opportunities or new undeveloped potential. We see the sun over here radiating. You can see the whole sky is yellow. Lots of fire energy there. And in terms of that, you think in terms of birth. And so what is he going to jump into today and create? But generally speaking, with the Fool, it represents the soul's leap into form, the incarnation of the soul into the body, and the undeveloped potential that's going to bring him. He's got his knapsack over his shoulder. He's got a white rose of new potential there, new beginnings in his left hand, in his receptive hand. And he's looking upward towards spirit. He's not even going to look as he jumps, because he trusts the moment. He trusts the process. Now, this can go, we may take another card here. This can go a couple of different ways when we talk about undeveloped potential. With the 10 of Wands, again, we're looking at Wands as the fire element. So creativity, vitality, new beginnings, transformation in a way. We see the line of demarcation. We can say that this could be his home. And in a sense, he's carrying a heavy burden. But like the Fool, he's not looking where he's going, is he? He's got all of those bundled together. They're fanned out. And he's heading into something. He's heading into something new. Maybe he's bringing home all of the new opportunities that he's found today to his family. 10 reduces to 1. It can either be endings and beginnings, or it can be just new beginnings. But something has maybe come to completion. He's gathered it all together, and he's taking it home to maybe start to build something new. Maybe it's his opportunities. He's maybe going to get a new job or something. He's looking, and he's found some different places that he wants to apply at or something. Or maybe he has, and maybe he's got some offers he's bringing home to talk about with his family. Could be something like that. But when you see a line of demarcation here, I think of it in terms of, now and then, or now and the future. But there's a separation between the two energetically. But the other part here is he's trusting the process. He doesn't have to look where he's going. He's sure. He knows. He's taking the leap of faith in much the same way the Fool is. You see? It's kind of I'm not looking where I'm going because I don't need to. I already know. And I'm trusting the road ahead. I'm trusting the process. I'm trusting that I'm going to be guided toward whatever it is I need to do that's best for myself. And probably the family. Anytime I see a home in the distance, someone's walking to it, I think family. But it doesn't necessarily have to be. But in terms of acquisitio or gains, something's happened here that's giving him some positive momentum here. He's going to gain something from this experience, and the Fool itself is going to gain from this leap into something new, trusting the process, trusting the undeveloped potential of it all. Now, you come to the Queen of Cups, and the Queen sits on the edge of the water, unlike the King, who looks like he's floating on the water, and as she could be, but I kind of don't think so. She just kind of looks like she's sitting on a little sandbar or something right there in front of her. You can see her cape here almost becomes the rocks at the beach, or at say like River Rock, for example. That's what it reminds me of. She's holding a beautiful cup in her hand. Tarot decks of old show this particular cup as opposed to the chalice. She's got a beautiful crown on her head. She's got cherubs on her throne. You see the land. She's kind of sitting down lower than what the land is up around her. but she's reflective. She's the observer. The cups is the water element, so that's emotion, that's intuition, that's laguz. Um, but she's empathic, she's loving, she's an observer, she's patient. She might, since it's a card of emotion, she might meddle a little bit and insert herself, you know. She may be only so trustworthy. She may have trouble setting boundaries. But I think in terms of the queen, either there is someone, a woman, when you're making these decisions about your future, there could be an older woman in your life that you might go to for counsel, just to bounce ideas off of. Again, though, if she starts to meddle a little bit, you want to take a step back from that, probably. If she's telling you what to do, that's another issue entirely. But suggestions are fine. Because again, you trust the process, you know where you're going, you know what your goals are, you know what needs to get done. And there's just some opportunities that you need to just decide on, especially if you've been given different offers from different jobs, prospective employers. Maybe what's happening there is you need to bounce those ideas off of somebody else. It could be, it could be a spouse. But it could also be maybe your mother or an aunt or a neighbor, or maybe somebody that you know that has given you wise counsel in the past. But again, with the element of the water here, it seems to me that there's a level of emotion that's coming into it as well. And so to me, boundaries keep coming into my head here. Boundaries seem to be possibly an issue here, where you want to make sure that whatever you do pursue, you're going to be able to maintain healthy boundaries in, either between, and by that it could simply be, if you are choosing a job where you're always going to be there and you have family at home, that may not work out for the family. So there has to be an establishment of boundaries that's going to work for everybody concerned in this. Because it just feels to me with the Ten of Wands that there's more than just this guy involved in it. Although maybe not, Let's see if we can get a little bit more clarity. We'll take one more card. These cards still want to stick together. It takes new decks a long time if you're not working with the deck every day, and I tend to leave this deck in here. Sometimes I'll work with it, but I like to just keep it directly for these readings. Let's see if I can get better. Sometimes if I shuffle on my lap, I have better control of the cards. Let's take the 13th one. Well, we're talking about this is the Four of Swords. Now we brought into the equation the air element as well. So this is intellect, reason, balance, justice, fairness, observation, cutting through deception. And here you see a knight. Well, I mean, this is actually like a the caskets of old were I have pictures of relatives that were royal, and so you would see caskets with their bodies done in concrete or whatever. It's all masonry, it's all stone, and so however they did that, they would put a rendition of the individual on top of the casket. And so I have, when I do my work on my ancestry, there'll be pictures that you can upload to your ancestry page that show what their caskets look like, and they look like this. But here we're just going to decide that we have a knight who's laying down on top of the casket here, on top of some kind of stone thing. But what he's doing is he's you see one sword below and three swords up here, and you can tell this is in a church because you've got the stained glass. But realistically, this is a casket, okay? And with not the guy itself, but a rendition of the guy on top. But here we look at it differently. We think of it in terms of just bringing your mind to rest and letting your thoughts settle. But in truth, this is what they used to do. Not with everybody, but with the more noble people. It might not be actually somebody royal per se, but it could also be someone who's a lord or a lady that's had that title conferred on them by the king or queen. And but it still suggests it's somebody that's of status, that's a higher status than the rest of the people in the village or the town. But essentially all it's saying is that you need to figure out a way to put your mind, because you got some decisions to make here. That's implied. But you need to get away from everything, and after you have gotten your counsel, if that's indeed what this is about, or if it's not about an individual, then it could simply mean the qualities therein. And so, you have to show some compassion for your family. If there's family involved, you have to be willing to set boundaries in terms of the choice you're going to make here. If this is indeed about new opportunities, and I think with the Fool, it's signifying that it is. But at some point, you're going to have to then get away from everything and make your own decision. And to do that, you've got to just get your mind to rest, put your thoughts at rest, and let something really gel from there. With Acquisitio, it is suggesting that there's going to be gain involved here. So whatever decision you make is going to be positive for you today. But again, you're trusting the process with both the Ten of Wands and the Fool. There's an element of trust here that you know where you're going. You're ready to take that leap into something new. Maybe you haven't even been out there looking. Maybe others know about you and they've been contacting you and offering you a job. That happens in this world too. So I think that's also a possibility here. But make sure that you set the boundaries you need to set. And that could also mean asking for what you want at the new job when you're interviewing. To say, well, okay, I'd like to work for you, especially if it's somebody who's contacted you about, hey, you want to come work for us? Well, okay, but these are the things I need. I have a family, or I have other responsibilities, or I have other things that are going on or something, and I'd love to work for you, but I can't work, 16-hour days. I have to be able to have some flexibility. Maybe due to COVID, maybe you've got you've got small kids at home. Maybe it's the type of job where you can work from home. So maybe you can negotiate that. So the Queen of Cups, there's an element of authority there, but ask for what you want, because oftentimes, they want you. If they're wanting you, if they're excited about you, about the prospects of you coming on board, they're going to do whatever it takes to get you. And it's not just about salary these days. And although that's certainly important, it's not always about that. It's about the life structure that you have. And right now with COVID still here, and we're going to be doing this with it, and there's going to be more variance because we didn't stuff it out in the beginning. So as long as it's going to be here, we're going to be contending with that. And so work situations are willing now, depending on what it is, especially like in the tech field, or where you can actually just do your work at home. Say you're a real estate agent, you don't necessarily have to go into the office. Maybe you can get enough supplies at home and everybody can just sort of, do Zoom meetings or whatever, or maybe come to the office once a week for a little while, just for a meeting. Employers are doing all kinds of creative things now. And so with the Queen of Swords, since boundaries are part of this, maybe it's just suggesting that you need to ask for what you want to suit your life. And the concerns that you have. If you have a compromised immune system, then maybe you're going to want to work from home. And so if it's possible, the employers these days are now readjusting the situation. We had to stay home for so long, for so many months that and some places aren't back to work yet. Well, they're working, but they're working from home. They're working, in a more creative way. And they're finding that, this works really well. My employees are much happier and all of that, right? And I think that I mean, it can reduce babysitting costs, childcare costs, right? If you're home with the kids and you're doing, you both spouses or both parents are home, and it makes it much easier for and the kids are happier. So I think that you have a little more flexibility, and that may be another thing that this is asking for. But it's about focusing in with the four finally here, focusing in with the Four of Swords and being sure of what it is you need, letting your thoughts all settle, letting all of this, you've done all the consideration, now you're just letting it all settle and gelling into something where you can finally make a decision about it, letting your mind go to rest and not be, thinking about everything at once. You're going to come out of that and you're probably going to know at that point what it is you need to do. So, but with Acquisitio, it certainly seems like whatever you do here, whatever decision you make is going to bring you some gain. So it's going to be positive, irrespective of what you choose. But with the 10 of Wands, it can also seem like you're carrying a heavy burden. But I don't know. I don't think that that's the only way to read that card. I think that you can also see it as a bunch of opportunities that you've got to consider. And with the 4, you're looking at bringing your mind to a rest at some point and coming to a decision. So, well, that's a pretty good way to start a Monday. You might get a new job, a new opportunity. So that's cool. Well, I guess that's it. I think we did it. Thanks for coming by. And I hope you guys have a good week. I hope if maybe we can chat a little bit on Thursday about what happened at that UFO hearing. But that sounds like it's going to be cool, and hopefully they're going to take it. It sounds like they're going to take it all seriously. They need to. We know that we're not alone in the universe. We know that they've been here. We know that they helped build our civilization with us, and they helped us do that. And genetically, we're probably related to many of them that came here. So I just feel like the sooner the government starts telling the truth, and of course the Congress can do whatever they want to, but if the Pentagon won't cooperate, well, then we're still back at square one where we know what happened, but they treat us like we're stupid or something, or we can't handle it. Well, I think that at some point, you've got to be like the fool here and take the leap of faith and just realize that the universe is bigger than just us, and there's more going on, and maybe the story of who we are is not exactly what we think it is, and maybe there's a whole lot more to it. And I think that it's of value to let us know what that is and to let us all start thinking about it. Maybe it will, shift us into a different mindset together. And you never know. You never know the positive effect it could have on humanity if we could just simply have an honest conversation about what's going on. So anyhow, thanks for watching, and we'll talk again on Thursday when we do another edition of As Above, So Below. So be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.